Hi guys, today is Wellness Wednesday. Doc and I, we are at a brand new location. We
Yep.
are so excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yay! So Happy New Year's to you guys.
Happy New Year!
So in the meantime, today we're going to talk about actually the gut health. As a sport nutritionist, many times I fall into the face that problem where my clients are having digestive issues. So no matter how precise my program is and how perfectly tailor-made for every single individual, unfortunately, if they don't have the perfect digestion, if they don't have the production of enzymes, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to utilize my program and get the results what they are seeking. So, you have to understand that this 25 feet long tube from our mouth to all the way up to our anus, there's so many things are happening.
Correct.
So because of that, that's the first and foremost what we need to address. Because as I said, unfortunately, the program what I provide to my clients can fail. But many times I also understood that unfortunately, especially for females, it's so much harder, they are having a harder time to digest the protein itself. And because of that, we need to address that. But in the meantime, Doc, what do we need to do to be able to increase our digestive system and gut health? And because of 70% of our immune system as well is actually created in our gut, right?
Correct. So there's a couple different components I wanted to touch upon real quickly. Digestion is the most obvious thing too. It's your absorption of your nutrients. What you put in the body, you don't want to just eliminate. You want to be able to absorb what you can. At least the good parts, right?
Absolutely.
You want to absorb the bad parts, and then let go of the rest of the toxins. So one big thing that we find is patients who have issues with malabsorption or difficulty absorption, whether it occurs in the beginning, in the mouth, all the way into the stomach. Esophagus does some, but most of it is then stomach. And then the small intestine is super important, especially for vitamins such as B12 and so forth. The small intestine, as well as the colon. The colon mostly is your filter. You get your water in or you put your water out. So people do absorb a lot in all different parts of the gut.
Mm-hmm.
Gut being, we think of as the large colon, but it can be from top to bottom. So digestion, absorption, super important. If you don't have that going on, you're not going to be able to process any type of nutrition program.
Absolutely.
Number two I wanted to touch upon is just like what you said, immune health. 70% of our immune system is our gut. If you cannot absorb the nutrients you need, if you don't have that, you then cannot produce the hormones that you need for the immune system.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest one is serotonin. We know serotonin is affected. People say, oh, I was on this medicine or I was on that. Well, if you're not absorbing your food and you're having all these, loose stools or you're having issues with your bowels, you're not getting the medicine to start with. And number two, then you feel cruddy on top of it. So immune system, not just from that point of view, but all over your body. We have all these different body parts that are involved in it, but the gut is super important for the immune system, and it goes hand in hand with how people feel. When you're feeling sick at home and you're not you're just kind of down and out, usually we feed ourselves, right? Or we starve ourselves, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're feeding yourselves, what do you want? Chicken broth, bananas, apples, toast, those things that absorb really easily.
So the body is basically signaling to yourself that what it's supposed to consume. It's so interesting that that's what we teach first and foremost to our clients and patients, right? That listen to our body. Again, it doesn't matter if we're talking about nutrition or training itself. We need to make sure that if you're too tired, you're not going to train. There is no reason. You're actually decreasing your immune system. If you're not recovered, you're not going to do any good for yourself. And if your body is requiring certain things, maybe you're depleted of that particular thing, right? So we need to listen to our body truly and in every sense of the word to make sure that we're going to create health. And yes, it's so common thing when we get sick, we don't want to eat as much. Well, because our body is very acidic. It's trying to find things. And so it's not in a perfect pH level. So we need to definitely address that as well.
Correct. So when people are sick, when your digestion is off, you don't feel good. And that's why the gut is such an important organ system of the body. We joke, our gastroenterologists, our general surgeons, they deal with it all the time, but it really is the bread and butter of everything that we do, and keeping it really intact is super important.
Absolutely.
So,
would you have any recommendations about probiotics? Just briefly.
So I like natural probiotics. I tell patients as much as possible, and we've talked about this before, fermented foods, non-fat and or fat yogurt, but nothing processed in it. You don't want the sugars and things. If you want it, add it to it. You know, you can always do that. If you buy the flavored yogurts, they don't have as much, because the whole point of that, the probiotics, is to supply your gut with appropriate bacterium that it has been depleted potentially. Now, it's not for everybody. There are patients out there that have an overgrowth of bacteria. So sometimes when you add that fermented food or probiotics, whether it be in a natural source or supplementation, it can actually make you feel worse. But you just have to take it in stride, because everybody is different.
Absolutely. Then again, focus on that. It's a natural source of probiotics, what you're mainly seeking. It's not that you're supposed to take everything in capsule form and you're supposed to take probiotics constantly. Now, of course, if you're taking some antibiotics, probiotics are necessary, even in a supplement form.
After you're done with the course. Not
Yes.
during, because that's kind of partially defeating the purpose of why you're taking the medications.
Exactly. Guys, please tune to us. If you have any questions, please let us know. Exercise is medicine, guys.
Nutrition is the key.